Imagine you're watching your favourite movie in the cinema. Braveheart, if it was me, it would probably be Braveheart. On the big screen, you've got your popcorn sat there, some minstrels strewn into the popcorn, and title screen, it begins. But then you realise you have to juggle 3 or 4 eggs and try and concentrate on the movie at the same time as keeping all these eggs in the air. And I'm discovering that's what it's kind of like having a child. Because I'm a first time mother, I didn't understand how hard it really would be to reset and to just juggle very basic things. I think it was Oprah that said you can have it all, just not all at once. And this is ringing true for me. I did this mental exercise when I was about 20 where I imagined, like, I painted the canvas of my life in my brain, my mental canvas, and everything that I wanted in my life I painted onto this canvas. And it was full of memories of a university I hadn't yet attended, parties that hadn't happened, books I hadn't yet read or written, a choir of lovers I hadn't yet met, a beautiful marriage and a family, travel, wild sex, cozy nights by the fire. And when I was doing this mental exercise, not once did I expect all of that stuff to happen at the same time. I dreamed of it all for my life, for my long life. The average woman here in Ireland lives till 84.
84 years.
But I'll probably talk about this in this vlog, but I watched Inside by Burnham on Netflix, and the Welcome to the Internet song.
Get offended, see us shrink, show us pictures of your children, tell us every thought you think. Here's a healthy breakfast option, you should kill your mom, here's why women never fuck
I
you.
suppose, online, if you use the internet a lot, it's just noise and noise and noise and everything all the time. And I think a lot of us have absorbed that and brought it into the real world, when actually slow living is the best thing. Like just waking up and just having a little relax and looking out at the garden, really sitting down and just enjoying your cup of coffee. I think we, especially new mothers, put a huge pressure on ourselves to succeed at everything, juggle all of the eggs, and it's not possible. And if you watched episode 1 of this Project Reset series and thought, Mel, if you're a parent, you probably knew I was setting myself up for failure in some of my endeavours and goals. And I was, so I prioritised. The pressure to make the most out of every single day can really rob us of joy in the present. This is stuff I struggle with, this is stuff I'm working through. I know from my messages from you and my comments that a lot of you are in a similar state of mind. That's where I hope my sponsor can help. Is that a good segue into the sponsored segment? I hope so. This video has been sponsored and approved by BetterHelp. That is help, H-E-L-P. BetterHelp is professional counselling done securely online, and they're offering 10% off your first month of therapy with them as one of my followers. And it's important to say it's not aimed at anyone struggling through severe mental illness. The website does outline whether or not it's suitable for you, so do check that out first. But if you're like me and you're facing life's regular challenges, which we all do, and you don't want to force your spouse or partner or whoever to fill the role of your therapist, which they shouldn't have to, BetterHelp is an amazing option. It's available worldwide. You can log in anytime and message your counsellor, and you're entitled to free weekly video or phone sessions with them as well. They make it very easy, and it's free to change counsellors if needed. So yeah, this is my link. This is down in the description box. Talking feels good. Talking is important, and it's great to have someone who is unbiased, who is outside of your situation. One of the best things my BetterHelp counsellor explained to me was that, like, if I'm on an airplane, I am supposed to put the oxygen mask onto myself first and then onto my baby. This almost gave me the permission that I felt like I needed to, look after myself a bit more, so that I can continue to kick motherhood's arse. Because I believe I've been really good at being a mammy, and it's nice to have the confidence to feel like I can say that and actually to believe it as well. Let's start the vlog. It's gonna be an awful lot of catching up in this, so enjoy and chat to me in the comments. I don't know how to do a transition. Let's just try this. Check out my little regrowth from all the hair I lost after I had the baby. It's growing back all over my head. There's just little hairs sticking up everywhere. Thomas and I have learned that if you are a couple who wish to go to the gym and you have a baby, it is a military operation.
Basically what we do is I bring our son for a walk for half an hour while Melanie does her bits,
and then we swap over. Melanie goes for a quick walk and goes to her dad's while I do my bits, and then we come home.
Starting at the bottom of the mountain again. but
we're starting.
The alternative is to just stay like this or become even weaker.
The big problem I went through was comparing myself to where my fitness used to be. So that's why I've deleted it all, and I'm just pretending I'm starting again.
Put your fucking hands up, get out of your seats, all eyes on me, all eyes on me. Get your fucking hands up, get out of your seats, all eyes on me, all eyes on me. Are you feeling nervous? Are you having fun? It's almost over, it's just begun. Don't overthink this, look in my eye, don't be scared.
I get it. I get why so many people, if they fall off the wagon with exercising, like they don't get back on. It can be disheartening to know like how strong you were, and you can see it, like you can literally see it in the weights that you cannot lift anymore, to once again feel like a weak little bitch. I have to get back to it. Like I can't even imagine going through a pregnancy without a certain level of strength. Like, it's so taxing on your body. Now just having a very full-on little boy who's very big for his age, and he loves to be held like all babies do, and I'm still breastfeeding, and I'm realizing how taxing it is having a baby on your body. I honestly wish there was a body parts store where you could go and trade in, you know, can I have a new back, please? Every part of me hurts today. I'm still recovering from a neck injury that I believe was caused by either breastfeeding or lifting my baby. I'm doing physio once a week, which is amazing. Well, the part that is amazing is when he gives a deep tissue massage. And if you're like me and you go and get a massage and you're lying there thinking like, go harder, please, more firmness. I'm always wanting it like more. Like, the guy I'm going to is fantastic, but it's not like some of the muscle in my body is like hard as this. In my neck, it's just all constantly going into spasm. A huge part of physio is strengthening exercises that you do at home. That is, it's all supposed to be preventative, you know, and it's the same with your whole body. The stronger you are, the better. So we're getting back on the gym buzz. Let me know if you fell off too over the past year or so with the way of the world. Just seeing as I was showing you this stuff is absolutely incredible. It's like giving your face a glass of water. I kid you not. It goes really deep into your skin. 10 surface layers, but I find that this is insane for combating dehydration lines. Full transparency, this was gifted to me. Kiehl's Hydro Plumping Serum Concentrate. I actually, this was part of one of the skincare giveaway prizes that I did over on Instagram, and I posted it off yesterday. Maybe you're like me and a lot of what you think are wrinkles end up being dehydration lines that just go away once your skin is properly hydrated. Hydration and moisturization are different things, which I learned recently. And for years I did not know. I used to use those words so interchangeably. I'm trying to be on top of the skincare, but yeah, I'm gonna go get ready, go downtown, bit of lunch. Need to give you a big update actually. Just have a chatty update. So a bit more of this. Look at this strength, huh? 9 months, strong little legs. As you can see, we're in trouble. Yeah. It's nap time for you, little man. Don't grow up too fast, then I won't have a little baby anymore. Oh boy, Mummy's hair. It's Mama's hair. It's time for a baby napping update.
This is just shadow. I'm not like just tan in the face and then white all over.
I tried to film an update already, and this was the results of that. Maybe this isn't for me anymore, and I hate that. Like, hello little kid. Sorry, this is just a waste of time.
Yeah, you literally vlogged the whole drive to Tesco, and then you're just like, not using any of that, and then your battery started dying. You were like, ah!
I did vanish off of here for quite a bit, but I was doing the thing I said I'd do in the first one of these at the start of the year. I finished my second novel.
Yay! And I'm reading it.
Yeah. He said he can tell the parts that I wrote at midnight when I'd woken up at 5 a.m. after a night of feeding the baby. I got this meme. I have to show them the meme.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
crying in bed at this last night.
Yeah.
Do you know what I feel like comes through a lot in the novel is throughout the whole pandemic, there's been very much like two separate camps of people and thinking. So I was trying to write it so that it could be read in two different ways. I don't know how successful I was.
I'm a third of the way through it at the moment. I'm gonna be reading more today.
Thank you for reading it.
Well, I think
I'm struggling with imposter syndrome again.
I think it's very, very good, because I was saying this to Melanie. I was like, if I was only reading it just because she wrote it, I'd have to do it in drips and drabs. But I was on an overnight and I read it for like 3 hours. I think it's brilliant. I'm enjoying it anyway.
Being creative is fucking hard, and when you have a baby as well, like, I suppose the theme of motherhood is there in the book, and I think it shoehorned its way in because of my own life experiences at the time of writing it and stuff. But most of what the book is about is just so separate from my life, like my day-to-day life with my son and with this lovely man. And I suppose, yeah, like, you're being vulnerable and like you're wanting to make something, create something that's going to make people feel, and that's the whole drive behind wanting to share any kind of art, I suppose.
I'm really proud of you, because you were killing yourself, especially for the past like 2-3 months.
I wasn't killing myself. I was mentally killing myself, because it's the time wise, like, I was putting in 4 to 6 hours every day of the week writing, or just working on the book. Like, sometimes you're rewriting or you're going back over it or whatever, and
even when
the baby is obviously awake so much of the day, and then and we'd have like our regular lives to live in between that, like food shopping and cleaning and laundry and seeing people and seeing our family and seeing our friends and washing myself. Like, there's not enough hours in the day.
But even during the hours when you weren't writing, like, sometimes you'd just be like away with the fairies and you'd be like, oh what? Because you're obviously living with Rosie and Peter and the rest of them in like your head.
People who don't even exist. I was spending a lot of time with them in my head. It's not possible really to kind of juggle so much at one time without sacrificing on something, and I feel like what I've been sacrificing on has been mental health and physical health. While finishing this book, I set out this year to kind of do this and this and this and this over the course of the week, and I realized I was being way too over ambitious, and I think it's that hustle culture. I've definitely absorbed a lot of that, like, you know, as if all of your time has to be productive and you always have to be doing something. And the happiest I ever am is when we're just like in a moment and we're not worrying about anything and we're just playing with our baby, and
yeah.
He's not going to be baby for much longer, so I just really want to make the most of all of my time with him. Oh yeah, do you know the way you were saying you were on the overnight? Like, I've had a few questions about our living situation, work situation and all that kind of thing with Thomas, because we did announce over on Instagram about his job opportunity to work for the same airline that he works for, but out of Manchester, so that would be his base in the UK. And at first we still may need to move to Manchester, so that's kind of, we're just kind of trying not to think about it too much right now, because
everything right now is very much in flux.
You're not going to be working till when is it?
We might not be starting now until the end of September, but yeah, like we're looking at places over in Manchester, and that's still very much a possibility. But fingers crossed, if my roster's good enough, I may be able to either rent a cheap flat with a couple of guys I work with, or stay in the airport hotel the night before my shifts, and just kind of go over the day before, eat, rest up, get a night's sleep, start my shift, do my flight to New York or Boston or whatever it is, and then get the flight home. And the main reason I want to do that is because if we move over there, when I go to work, Melanie and the baby will be in the flat by themselves. The main question I've been getting is to do with us buying a house, because we are going to be entitled to get our mortgage, according to the guy we've been in touch with from the bank for a long time. All ready to go on my end. It's just he needs Thomas's first payslip from the new job to show that he's like got job security and stuff. Obviously they're not going to just give you a mortgage when the aviation industry is so up in the air, but
we should be able to get our mortgage this year, and that's been our biggest kind of like, oh, what should we do? Like, because we really just want to get on the property ladder and start paying it off, and we might just go ahead and do it anyway and then rent the house out if we have to go to Manchester. But we don't think we will currently. We think Thomas will have all his time off here. He'll be off quite a bit of the month, like between his flights, and he wants to be here so he can see his family and friends, and I want to be here. Like, the two of us, it was always our plan to be in Ireland. And granted, we're accepting now that we may not get to live in our town or buy in our town, because the houses are so expensive at the moment. But
it's getting worse.
It's just getting worse. Like,
Worse.
COVID made it so much worse. And something that keeps happening in Dublin to a lot of people, especially my followers, even who've had mortgage approval for quite a while, is they've got mortgage approval, say, to buy a house for 400 grand, and every time they put in a bid, and these are, you know, people who professional careers, been to university, been saving for years, like in a very privileged position to be able to borrow like a lot of money and then have a down payment saved up, and they still can't buy a house because investors keep coming in and just it's putting in down payments like 200-300 grand above the asking prices.
A lot of it isn't just investors, it's
demand,
auctioneers.
Yes.
In this country, I'm under the impression this type of behaviour is illegal, but there's a house up the road here that was going for 370 grand, and I emailed them to go and view it, because I was like, you know, we're going to have a mortgage application in a few months and the house might still be on the market. I sent them an email and they got back to me and they were like, how are you doing? And they were like, you're going to need to provide proof of financing, so either proof of your mortgage approval or cash or whatever, if you just want to view it. So that was the first thing that's a little bit weird, but then I was like, okay, so they don't want to let anyone in who's going to be a time waster, fair enough. But then they said that the amount I would need to view it would be mortgage approval for 421,000. So to view a house that's on the market for 370, I need mortgage approval for 51 grand more than that, because apparently that's the current bid. And that's an auctioneer right there that's shooting the prices up.
Name and shame. And shame.
I don't know the name of that.
Okay.
I sent it to the housing minister
in
Ireland though, and he did.
Oh, you did,
thank me for sending it on.
So I thought I'd write this all out because I know a lot of you are in a kind of similar situation with, you know, you have a degree, you've been working for years, and you're still struggling to buy a home, especially if you're also around the Dublin area or like in London or somewhere like that. And yeah, a lot of you have been asking me to talk more about this kind of stuff, and our situation is a little bit confusing and messy, so this just makes it a little bit easier to understand where we're at about buying our own home as of this month. So what we have stacked against us, me working for myself, so it's just the way of the world. It's harder to convince a bank to loan you money when you're self-employed, and you really have to show a certain level of job security. So for me, it was about building up the amount of money in my company account so that I have guaranteed income, like wages, for a very long time in the future. The aviation industry collapsed due to the pandemic response because our government's response has just been shocking. So Thomas's industry now, it appears quite unstable to a bank. Thomas has student debt, however he's been paying this off really fast, but still that was always going to be, you know, a big hurdle, shall we say, for us. So what we have going for us, strong evidence of ability to repay mortgage and consistent savings over many years. I've been chipping away at that for a long time. Consistent rent repayments, for the two of us have this. Consistent loan repayments on our car, and then Thomas has been paying off his student loan since he got his job. Substantial savings and house deposit are both ready to go. And even though, you know, like Thomas, obviously his student loan is there, I think us having this just still, like if we put all of this into the student loan and then had nothing, it would look worse to the bank, according to the guy we've been chatting to. So he thinks this is a great thing. Even though Thomas's industry has been impacted, mine hasn't, thank goodness. This is so fluky. You know, I'm kind of good to go for quite a while into the future. And yeah, really grateful, really lucky. And then our age, we're first time buyers, so we can get like a long mortgage, you know, and we're open to a new build, and there is like a kind of help to buy scheme here in Ireland. So yeah, we're gonna see what the story is, but that's kind of like how things are looking at the moment, for anyone wondering how we're gonna be buying a house. I thought we could have a little depressing look at house prices in our town. So never mind this one that is like literally a super duper mansion. You know, like this one we got quite excited about because it was, you know, it's in our budget. We're kind of looking between 350 to 500,000 maximum. We've got a deposit saved for up to 600,000, but we don't want to get a mortgage that big. This is 350,000 for 1-bedroom house. It's absolutely tiny, and it's got a bear rating of D1, meaning it's freezing and it would need a lot of work done. We're going to need a house that has about 4 bedrooms because myself and Thomas need a bedroom, and then my dad is going to very likely be living with us. Like, if we were able to buy somewhere with a plot of land, we'd probably build him a separate like accommodation on the land. Not sure how possible that is. My dad really wants to stay living in this town rather than like us moving out quite far away to be able to buy somewhere with a lot more space to build. So we do have so much to think about, and you know, then yeah, kids need a room. I will definitely need an office because I work from home, and like I'm so fed up working on my bed, you know. The problem with these is like if something, so say like that's like nearly 500,000 for a 4-bed house in an estate, like perfect size. People are bidding like way over the asking price. Like the first bids are always far over the asking price, and then they end up selling for so much more than they're worth, like all of these houses do. We would really love something like this. Like this is a A-rated house. It's in an estate where we know a few people who also have kids or are having kids, and it's within budget, but like I know people who bought these houses for a bit over half of that price, like a few years back. Like that is ridiculous for a 3-bedroom house. It just is, no matter how nice the house is. Like it's just a joke. This one, it's absolutely wild because this house is called Avalon, and the house in my book where a lot of it takes place is called Avalon, and it's just so random that there's a house up for sale called Avalon. Thomas was like, it's a sign, and this is a really beautiful, stunning house, like absolutely gorgeous. It's really like high ceilings, and you could obviously do it up quite a lot, but yet the whole, like, I would love a nice garden. I'm not gonna be really turning anywhere down if they don't have a garden, but I'd love to take you on like our whole trying to buy a house journey, and let me know if you want me to document like us going to see houses or like, you know, doing renovation stuff when we buy a house. I'm trying to keep my eye only on the 4-bed houses because I just know that we might buy somewhere and get stuck there for the rest of our lives, and I know that's a possibility because I have close family with negative equity, and they still are paying back these massive mortgages that they took out, and like they paid so much for their properties, and the properties are now worth far less. And we just need to be really smart about where we buy. And like, look at that tiny bungalow, like 2-bedroom tiny bungalow for 330,000. It's absolutely mental. Other options are Lusk, which is fairly close to here. You'll notice if you look through here that the prices are definitely a lot less, and this is not far of a drive away. So like once I'm driving, my bloody driving test has been pushed back twice because of COVID, and then I missed my first one because I went into labour. The earliest appointment they could give me is like, I think it's in August. So yeah, once I'm driving, like I would happily live in Lusk, and then I could drive here to visit family and friends. But these are all 3 bedrooms, all of them, apart from this massive mansion with 5 bedrooms. 3 bed. Well, there's a 4-bed, but that's like the scariest prices again. Check Balbriggan now. Balbriggan is quite close to here, and I lived in, some of you actually might have been following me when I lived in Balbriggan before a few years ago. My dad and I were renting a house in Balbriggan. But another reason why we need 4 bedrooms is because obviously nowadays kids live at home with their parents an awful lot longer, and we need to think long term. Like if we have a couple of kids, like 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, we don't know how many kids we'll have, and then they'll be teenagers and adults probably still living with us. Come on, give us a 4-bed. There's a 4-bed, 330 for a 4-bed. So that's definitely cheaper than what you'd find in Skerries, which is really good. Like the fact that there's options. Oh my god. Whoa. That is absolutely, well, I'm not a fan of that floor, but sure, you know, that's what renovating is for. But yeah, that's like very cozy. Potential. 3-bed, 4-bed, 4-bed. Holy moly. Right, we'll be looking at Balbriggan. Oh, damn. Wow.
Oh my god.
Isn't that insane? It's absolutely stunning.
If that house was in Skerries, it'd be $1 million.
Yeah. 10-minute drive down the road. Look, a 4-bed for 725. Oh no, that's Skerries. For some reason it's coming up as a Balbriggan property.
Alright.
And then where else is an option? Rush. 3-bed, 4-bed. For 385. That's really good. Well, it's not really good.
That's really good.
It's really good compared to Skerries. Oh, that's very, very nice. I love the floors. Homely.
Very nice.
Very cozy.
What do you think, son? Oh.
Very nice. 2-bed, 4-bed. Avalon is coming up again. It's like a sign. It's a sign.
Put it in the vlog, someone else will buy it on us. Take it from us.
This is our favourite place to walk. It's called Shady Lane. You just feel like you're in the middle of a forest here, apart from when there's a big loud truck coming at you. Two more things that I wanted to get better at this year post baby. One was getting actually properly dressed more regularly. And we went on a little family trip recently and I had an excuse to wear lots of my little summer dresses that I'd packed away, and that was really nice, just not being in
You're taking them out, you're like, remember this?
Yeah.
Remember this dress?
And I know this sounds really stupid, but watching movies, like actually making time to watch films, was so hard after he was born. Like I'd watch an episode of a show broken up over multiple days sometimes, and sometimes not at all. Movies is such a big part of my life and always has been.
I think the longest thing we've watched since he was born was that Bo Burnham special.
Yeah, well, I would count that as a movie. So Bo Burnham has a new comedy special on Netflix called Inside. I'm sure you've heard about it. Everyone on the internet's talking about it because it's just phenomenal and it's so relevant to our generation and everyone experiencing the pandemic. He made it all himself in a small room over a year. Thomas was subscribed to Bo Burnham when he was on YouTube when he was like a little teenager, and he
Shout
used
out
to be...
anyone who remembers the Man Rhubarb channel, his second channel.
Man Rhubarb. No, I remember I got into him when he was really popular on Vine. I just thought he was so funny. But yeah, I love his other comedy specials so much. My friend Hannah Witten and I have watched Make Happy so many times together. It's like our thing we do every year. We even did it over lockdown. Like virtually, me, her and our friend Callum, we all watched it. In usual Bo Burnham fashion, there was lots of songs inside, and I know them all now off by heart already because the album is on Spotify. It's just so good, his use of like the zoom to create tension and anxiety, and his use of lights and colors. Like he's a masterful editor just in general, but there's so many things that you don't pick up on the first time viewing it. Like he has this whole song about a white woman's Instagram. He really makes use of aspect ratios throughout the whole thing. So say if he's doing a song about FaceTime or Instagram, like he'll use the aspect ratio of a post. And yeah, when I first watched it, I just found it really funny and I felt very attacked. It's just like kind of him taking the piss out of all of the typical, you know, bullshitty things that us white women like to post on Instagram. You know when you're taking an Instagram like a candid and you're like and like me and my sister have done that so many times, and I'm always so cripplingly self-aware that Thomas will take like a bunch of photos.
Make me laugh.
I'm like, say something funny, and then you can see in the final couple of pictures that he captures is me awkwardly walking to take the phone back off him, and I'm just like, ugh. The whole internet world is just so weird. And anyway, there's a part in that where the aspect ratio, like it widens out as she's talking about something, you know, real and vulnerable. She's opening up about her mom's death, and then it starts narrowing again as she starts being more performative again. And there's so many moments throughout the whole special that are like that. And as a creator as well, like online,
I just recognized myself in so many bits. Like, Thomas, you know when I'm filming a YouTube video and I'm like, I can't get the words out and I have to keep re-saying it, and I get really frustrated and angry, and I'm just like, ugh! Like he leaves a lot of those little bits in. You don't really know if he's performing that or if that's real. Either way, it works as part of like this kind of overall narrative of Inside. Do you have a favorite song from Inside?
The one that's popping into my head is the one where he's playing guitar. One thing I really like about that is he's got, and it's really subtle, it's nothing even to do with the song, he's got like a glowy light over to the left side, and he's like inserted the sound of a fireplace.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like you completely forget that he's just in his shed.
Yeah, it's like
and it looks
he's
like he's
doing a campfire.
It looks like he's sitting like a campfire.
He actually, yeah, that's another example. So he has this song about turning 30, and there's a scene where he gets this little light that's like a phone screen, and he does this around himself like as he's singing. It's like the sun circling the earth to show the passing of time, but it's also like, I felt like because the light looks like a phone, it's like because he's going, I'm turning 30. There's so much commentary in it about this kind of constant performing your life on the internet, and there's this brilliant part in it where he's commenting on like the real world is just a place to get content.
All human interaction, whether it be social, political, spiritual, sexual, or interpersonal, should be contained in a much more safe, much more real, interior digital space.
It is quite hard to watch because it's documenting his mental health decline over the pandemic, and you also see moments in it that really happened, like as Jeff Bezos of Amazon was just becoming so much more wealthy while so many people were sliding into poverty, because he's already done a song at this point about Jeff. Out of nowhere he does another song about him, and it's really quite manic.
Jeffrey Bezos, congratulations.
Problematic is my new gym anthem. I've been listening to it like on repeat in the gym, and I think it's just because it's got such an 80s workout montage vibe.
How he managed to do so much different stuff in one tiny room just astounds me. And yeah, just to watch something that's new and that's really good, and then to rewatch it and have loads of time just reflecting on it and thinking about it, that's a big part of my old life that I have missed. Oh, my son is hungry. I would hover over you with my boob right here, right now, chicken, but there's people in their gardens.
Please ignore all of the splodges of fingerprints all over these drawers. I don't really make a habit of getting the varnish out for drawers that I usually don't look at, but when it's in the background of a video, it looks quite minging. So we've had a couple of very full-on days with our baby. I shit you not, 2 nights ago, 9 months into his life, was the first time he ever woke up multiple times crying. We figured out he was constipated, gave him a bunch of Liga, which he usually wouldn't eat, and seems like he has inherited my very sensitive gut. We like to call it the Murphy gut in my family, but yeah, I'm gonna be quite choosy from now on about his snacks and stuff. Lads, my heart was broken watching him like scream and crying. I'm just not used to, I know people say like, babies cry. He never cries, like he whinges, but he just isn't a crier, and I was knackered. Now bear in mind, I am still breastfeeding at night as well, on demand. I've just come out of the like long project of writing my first draft. I'm working on a bunch of content for different brands and companies, and I am committed to attachment parenting. Those of you who are also doing attachment parenting, I'm sure that you get it, and I'm not going to be like posting any full-on videos all about attachment parenting or whatever until I've gotten through the first at least couple of years with my son, because I am not an expert. Thus far I absolutely love it. Like, my son is so happy, he's so healthy, he's so content, he's plays independently, he'll let anyone hold him, he'll sleep like a dream. He never seems anxious, like he's just, yeah. And I feel very much fulfilled, like following my own intuition to, you know, hold him when he cries, hold him at nighttime when he sleeps. Like, it is a privilege with my job. That is such an important consideration when having any kind of conversation about attachment parenting. Watch this video, I'll link it down below. It's a video by Gabor Mate.
absolutely love him. He talks a bit about like the parenting approach my husband and I are taking with our son in this video.
If you were looking at a plant that wasn't developing properly in your garden, you wouldn't start blaming it for making the wrong choice. You would ask what conditions are lacking: soil, irrigation, sunlight. Now, similarly with childhood development. So essentially the question we have to ask is, what conditions do children need for healthy development? The British anthropologist Ashley Montagu coined the phrase exterogestation to balance interogestation. Interogestation is gestation inside the uterus. But he said that fundamentally, for the human beings to achieve the same level of development as other animals do at birth, we have to be externally gestated for another 9 months. And that would naturally, where possible, which it is in most cases, include breastfeeding. And then on top of that, we'd have to be aware that the more we stress people, the more that stress translates into neurological influences on the brains of their kids.
As he points out, our culture and how our society is set up and built and stuff like that, it has become quite anti-child, anti-family. It's almost viewed as like something a mother should be grateful for, to simply be able to mother in a natural way. Like, women are not failing, society is failing women. If you are young, you are in a position to have some sway over shaping your life and setting yourself up for the kind of future that you yourself want, setting it up so that it's more in line with your values. And my mum was always working when we were kids, you know, to provide for us, because there's so much economic pressure nowadays. Everything is just so expensive. Living is just so expensive. Capitalism is not the one. I know we don't really have a better alternative. We know is guaranteed that will definitely work, and granted, yes, a lot of us are doing pretty damn well compared to people a few hundred years ago. However, it comes, the way our society is, it comes at a cost. A lot of people are paying the price of the lack of attachment and connection. You see it with the amount of people who are medicated and have mental health issues nowadays. It's just hamster wheel, burnout, you know, giving all of yourself to all these things. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. What I'm trying to say is, so my husband and I, we do attachment parenting, and it leaves me quite, like, feeling quite depleted, a lot just wiped, you know, and from, I try and just give everything that I can to my son. I'm not complaining about that, and I have no intention to stop doing that, but in order for me to be able to continue doing that, I do need to carve out space and time in my life, in my day, for myself, for my hobbies, for looking after myself. And I don't tend to do that enough, I'll be honest. I'm not like out here with it all figured out. Like, I definitely don't quite have the balance that I aspire to just yet. Having an amazing partner helps. Don't settle. My husband has told me that I have to take mammy must have time every few days, anytime I can. He said if I can do it like every evening for even 10-20 minutes that I should, and he said he will do whatever he has to make sure that I have bits of time for like my favorite brand of physical self-care. Hello, little man.
Talking about your mammy me time?
Yeah, mammy must have
your
time.
Mammy must have time, yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, I was swinging around all these products, these things I'm going to show you, because last night I had some feets must have time, mammy feets.
Yeah.
Hello, baby feets.
Mammy must have feet time.
Give me those baby feets. Trying to show them that you can stand now. Woohoo! Give me these handies. Yeah.
Good job.
Woohoo! I also really do not regret keeping him offline, by the way. It's just so nice to have a whole big part of my life that's not shared online, and it's just for me and he.
For me.
Where are you going?
Did you show them your socks?
I stole Thomas's socks. These were his Father's Day present. Now they're mine. Thomas got me a footsie spa, and it was just kind of sitting there for a very long time, and
That was her first Mother's Day present.
I need to just have time set aside to use it to like listen to an audiobook and have a little meditation with my feet in the water.
Yeah.
Keep that closed. We need to put the little child lock things on because he's getting so, aren't you? You're able to do everything now. Soaked my feet. I used one of these devices to remove dry skin, and you can't touch this. You can't touch this. This worked so much better than anything I've ever bought to, get rid of the little hard bits of skin that you get on your feet. It was only €15 in the pharmacy. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called like a foot buddy. I think it's called a foot buddy or a foot pal.
Make sure you're saying that correctly.
Something. Anyway, it's battery operated and you can use it like if you've been in water or not. I've tried it both ways and it worked both ways.
That's your newest favorite thing?
My new favorite thing, yeah. Hey! And then I used the CeraVe Renewing Foot Cream, which was sent. This was gifted from CeraVe. It was like PR and it has salicylic acid, ceramides and ammonium lactate. Softens and helps restore the skin barrier. CeraVe have brilliant stuff and no perfume as well. That was lovely. I love putting on like a cream like this and then putting socks on over it and letting it soak in while you're watching a movie. We're rewatching Lord of the Rings again. So unoriginal. It's always Lord of the Rings or Sex and the City or Harry Potter. I just like rewatching things, okay? Then I used the Rimmel London. I used the New Romantic Super Gel Polish and I completely banjaxed it. Like I didn't let it dry long enough. And when it's like you've left it to dry for ages and then you get up and it smudges and then it all just goes everywhere and it looks like absolute dog shit. That happened and then I had to fix it. That's a new favourite thing to do.
That's your new favourite sound?
I went years without doing my own nail polish. I would always get regular mani-pedis. I just never have time anymore, so I need to make time to have like a little footsie thing. And I also used face mask during it, and then Thomas told me I had glowing skin this morning. Yeah. That was my probiotic face mask. Yeah, you just have to. If you're doing this kind of parenting as well, where you can't keep up with that without becoming, I think, like you will become quite resentful if you don't also prioritize yourself sometimes and just have wind downs. And so yeah, Mammy must have time. It's become part of my project Reset. Granted, most days it's just remove the makeup, have a little massage in with the nice oils before a nice early night. I've talked a lot in this vlog. I really hope some of it made sense. In case you weren't reading the screen earlier over those shots of us in the car, I'm having some level of brain fog. Like, it's so bad that sometimes I forget the lyrics of songs and that, like, I can just barely string a sentence together. Half of me thinks it might be long COVID. I'm still convinced I had COVID like last March 2020. Some of you might remember me kind of whinging on social media about not being able to be tested because at the time the government in Ireland were just making up all sorts of crap. Like, were you around someone who was in Wuhan or Italy for over 15 minutes, because that's the only way you could possibly have COVID, because that's how viruses work. If I had it, I think it was mild. I remember having quite a bad cough in March, and I usually wouldn't get a cough that time of year, and anyway, then I had like bouts of breathlessness over the coming months. It was really bad after I gave birth. Like, for 3 months I felt like I could not hold air in my lungs, and at the time I mentioned it to the doctor and the midwives, and they said, I'd lost a lot of blood, and they mentioned for me to get my iron checked, and I got my iron checked after taking supplements, and my iron levels were normal then, but I still felt like I couldn't breathe. And I'm wondering, was that like a side effect or a long-term side effect that was kind of highlighted by the whole birth situation? I have a few family members who have long COVID, so I'm not sure if it's a brain fog associated with that, but it could be so many things. It could be baby brain, like mom brain they call it. It could be just like the ongoing stress of the whole world situation. But yeah, I don't know if I'm shit at vlogging now, if I'm just best being in the moment and living my life and not trying to capture moments of it. I don't know. Like, I'd love to know if this vlog was a big steaming heap of dung. If you made it this far, if you're still watching, and I'm kind of half thinking maybe my future on YouTube should just be video essays, like spending a long time putting together a really well thought out video that's scripted, and like, you know, I enjoy doing videos like that on other channels. I still watch vlogs. I still love keeping up with people online, people I've been following for years, and just hearing them chat and having a friendly voice in the background. Like, I get it. I get why it's an appealing media to consume, but I don't know if I'm any good at it anymore. Not that I was ever good at it, but you know, a whole lot of yous watch. When I think about even like 30 to 50,000 people on average watching videos of mine, like, I think of that many people in, like, I don't know, a stadium. It's just so many people. Let me know what you like most out of this channel. Like, I'm putting together some video ideas for the coming weeks and months, and I'll take any feedback that you can share with me into consideration. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thanks for being on this journey with me. How's your project reset going? If you're also trying to reset from 2020 or a baby or whatever else has been going on in your life. And I hope you're having a nice day. I'll see you again in another video very soon. Bye.